Hey guys, what's up? Thanks so much for clicking on this video. I know I suck at YouTube and staying consistent, but I've been kind of having like a recovery identity crisis because I don't really feel like I'm definitely a person who had a raging IV heroin addiction, right? Went to prison, got out, still kept using, took a long time for me to get better. But like I don't live a recovery lifestyle in the way that you would like think of recovery. Like I'm just a chick with a past, I'm a chick with a past who still has a lot of issues. Like my ADHD like literally rules my fucking life, which is why I suck at posting and I suck at being consistent and I just suck at a lot of things. But I'm working on it. And like, that's the thing, is that I really need to focus on my mental health and like, my ADHD and like trying to figure things out. And sometimes I feel like putting myself in that recovery box, I focus so much on recovery stuff that like I'm not getting to the root of my issues, the root of my problems, to go on and make myself a better life. And like that lifelong recovery, like that's like 12-step dogma, and I'm not there. That's not, and I know like for some people are gonna be like, oh, that's not safe to think like that and blah blah blah. And you're entitled to your opinion, but so much, what, I'm gonna insert a couple of TikToks that I did so that you guys can kind of see where I'm at, and just so I can, get this posted, and then I'm back. Like I'm getting it together, so I'll see you guys next week. All right, so I'm gonna insert those now. So I feel like I'm going through like an identity crisis, and that's why I haven't been posting on here as much lately, because do I even need to know like what I identify as in terms of like recovery and like not being in recovery or being in recovery? Like, this is why this shit matters. This is why these labels and like all the stigma and like why we talk about it. Because even someone like myself, like sometime in January, I don't know the exact date, but sometime in January, it'll be 6 years since I last put a needle in my arm. But even then, like I wasn't physically, like the last several times that I used, I was not physically dependent on it. It was my husband and I trying to use on the weekends and getting around his probation testing, and then he tested dirty a couple times and he was about to get sent back, and we were like, all right, like we're fucking done, because it's not even like, it wasn't even the same type of high. Like everything was just different, right? And it's because the drugs are different now, and it wasn't the same. So we're like, fuck it, like why are we even like fucking around with this shit? And we haven't since, right? Okay, so I've been, identifying as a person who uses cannabis in recovery for years and years and years now. And, I am a person who uses cannabis, but like, do I really identify as in recovery? And like, not in the way that, like, I don't have like recovery practices and principles. Like, I've just been in and out of programs and therapy and everything for a really fucking long time, and I have just built my life to where it is now. And yes, I use plant medicine and whatever, but I don't really feel like I'm in like recovery, you know what I mean? But maybe this is part of that, like all paths, like do what works for you path of recovery, like even though it's not I don't know. And this is where I'm stuck. And I know it's stupid. Like, I don't even have to have this figured out. Like, it doesn't matter. Like my message is still the same. The things that I believe in, well, I guess no, like my message isn't still the same, because if I don't identify as a person in recovery, I don't know. I feel like I'm making this way more complicated than it needs to be. And yeah, I don't know. I'll figure it out though. In my deprogramming journey, reached like because there's like levels to this deprogramming shit, right? And I don't feel like I really like the recovery community, and so much about recovery, the lingo, a lot of the practices, a lot of what recovery culture is, comes from 12-step dogma, 12-step rhetoric. There's almost like recovery dogma that even if it's not 12-step based, it's almost like a set of beliefs that a lot of people believe, and it's been weird because I feel like almost like I don't belong in the recovery community and don't know where I fit, because so much of my life was my substance use disorder, and so much of my life was based on recovery. And now I feel like I am in a new place in life where I'm trying to just like almost like recover from recovery. Like I feel like a lot of those beliefs and things have held me back and kept me sick for a really long time. And the thing is like, I'm not saying that I'm cured by any means. Like I got a lot of fucking issues and a lot of things that I need to work on, but like that's the thing, like not using drugs isn't one of those things. Like like I know like that's the thing too. It's like scary to even say that out loud, because recovery culture, right? You can't be too confident in your recovery because that's when you slip and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is that the harm reduction, I like the principles, like everything, like I've been reading, learning more about it, and because I started my harm reduction outreach stuff like through cannabis community events and dispensaries, which I want to tell you guys more about that stuff too. But the harm reduction community really has given me a place to like feel like I can fit in this puzzle, when it's like I can get behind the harm reduction principles, and that is like that's my shit, like that's my place. And